The evidence of capitalism working and socialism failing has been accumulating year after year in every country, yet the rejection of capitalism has been growing. So, what are the real reasons? In the case of capitalism, it is the man's fear of independence and consequently fear of rationality. Anti-rational mentality is necessary to be anti-capitalist. These two reasons together unite to support the morality of altruism. Morality of altruism that most of us have been taught to accept and only few are independent or brave enough to reject. Self-sacrifice, selflessness, self-obligation, all anti-self theories really mean anti-man. Altruists that preach those ideas don't hesitate to sacrifice whole nations. Look at USSR or look at Nazi Germany. Nazis were very explicit in preaching self-sacrifice for the state. Look at the state of United States today, where everyone is expected to sacrifice their freedom and personal choice of health, get a vaccine and wear masks, close their businesses and stop travel, all for supposed altruistic reasons of helping others. Every dictatorship is based on altruism. Some might say happiness comes from making others happy, but nobody ever asks why. Why is it good to wish for others to be happy but not yourself? Is it because they will work to make you happy in return? Then it becomes an exchange of Christmas presents that neither party wants, but you are not allowed morally to do something for yourself instead. The correct way is to make others happy when and if they mean something to you selfishly. If you love them and want to make them happy, fine. But you can't love everybody. It would be meaningless. You can only love those that you value and those that contribute to your happiness and you contribute to theirs. But each one of you must be selfish about it. Suppose someone told you, "I love you because you are so bad, so I sacrifice myself to love you." Would you accept that? Or would you say that that is the most insulting thing that one could tell you? And yet, that's what altruism would demand. A man who is a full altruist would have to find a cannibal village and offer himself as a meal. That would be the only way he could make a self-sacrifice for the sake of others and getting nothing in return. In fact, a total altruist is in a contradiction every time he eats. Food may be needed more by someone else. An altruist could get out of it by saying you should reserve for yourself only the minimum so you could go on serving others. But what is the minimum in each case? And why do the needs of others have primacy over your own? The issue of self-sacrifice must be taken on faith, as no rational justification has ever been offered or could ever be offered. Now, capitalism has been misrepresented almost from inception, both by enemies and defenders. Because capitalism is incompatible with the morality of altruism, those who have accepted that morality have such a deep psychological interest in it that they blame their inner conflict on capitalism. And if they can prove to themselves that capitalism is evil, they become free to practice their impractical morality. You might have thought that altruism means helping others without the expectation of gaining something in return. To begin with, that is the big mistake. Being altruistic doesn't mean to be kind. Majority of people thinks that's what altruism means. That if you give $1 to a homeless guy, you are an altruist. Nothing could be further from the truth. Altruism does not claim that you should help others when and if you can. It claims that you should put your interests lower than the interests of others. You might say, what about helping your loved ones? Well, if you love your parents, children, friends, or partner, choosing between spending money on them when they have a problem rather than buying the latest iPhone is not a sacrifice, because they are your value. Altruism would demand you to spend money to help the loved ones of your neighbor rather than your loved ones. Deeper than the question of why people reject capitalism is what attracts people to altruism. What attracts people to a morality that has been proven evil and has countless contradictions? The answer is fear of independence and reliance on one's own mind. Fear of reason. It is the fear of being and facing the absolute objective and rational reality. But since you can't escape the reality, those who want to do so can only do it by hoping that their wishes and fears can somehow succeed if they can ride on the shoulders of the productive members of the society. The only way that could be achieved is physical force, which is why the people who are anti-capitalist are socialists and communists. People who believe in greater government control, which leads to authoritarian regime, which leads to rule of men by force. People are willing to provide total obedience to the state in exchange for the state taking the responsibility for their own life and actions. They usually hide behind those men that face the reality and produce all values that humanity achieved intellectually or materially. It is those men that the irrational person is trying to enslave. I hope you are having a nice day. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. And I'd like to leave you with a quote by Ayn Rand. "I swear by my life and my love of it that I will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to live for mine."